Alright, welcome back to season 2 of our show. Today we're going to be smoking up some rosemary garlic chicken quarters and making a beautiful pasta salad. Don't want to miss this one. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Alright, so we have 6 chickens here and we're going to quarter these. And the reason why we're quartering these today because we're going to smoke them quick. Now these are about 3.5. This is about 3.5 pounds right here to 4.5 pound birds. I usually keep them small. Today I had a hard time getting a hold of the smaller ones, so we had to go just a little bit bigger today. So I try to clean this as I do it, as I go along. I get all that fat out of there. And just put that right to the side. Now, when I quarter these, I go right down the middle, right through the breast, and I start cleaning out the inside. Then I just go along the bone just like this. Just tap your knife through. This is a junk knife that I usually use. I keep it sharp. Hit it with the sharpener. And that's 1/2. We're just going to start cleaning it up. And I find it easier to work with when you go in half, because you can half it, clean it well, and then quarter it. Because it's easier to work with a bigger piece of chicken than it is with a smaller piece of chicken. All right, we're gonna remove the skin over here and just get that fat out of here. There's some fat in here between the leg. And we're just gonna get that out. Where the thigh meat is. And just get that right out of there. These are young chickens. They don't get that fatty. And this is why I use them. This way you can get that out of there. Just like that. Alright, so now we got it cut up in halves. We're just going to quarter it straight down. There it is. And now I can start cleaning from there. Just like that. And just get all that fat and gulk out of there. And scrape along. It looks like a pretty clean piece of chicken. Now, like I said, we're smoking these today, so we're going to be running around 275 because we want our skin crispy. We want to like my skin crispy. And we're going on an offset today with this little stick burner that holds pretty good temperature. And that's it for that. I'm going to just a little bit more in here. Clean it up a little bit. And I think we're okay. Gonna take that piece. Off to the side she goes. So, cut, clean first, season later. That's what we're doing. Keep your cutting board nice and clean. This is the breast. There's really not too much to do on there. Just scrape that out from the back. That fat. Just come up under the back of the skin, but leave this part here because you can fold that over and protect the rest of the breast meat. Now I could cut this wing off here, but keeping this all intact, it keeps it moist, especially on a small bird like this. Because if you cut this wing off and you're in quarters, she's going to dry out if you go in pieces. So let's start with our second one here. Like I said, just get it cleaned up as best as you can while it's whole halved, and work with your bigger piece. So this is a neck, and we're just going to cut that right out of there. There's some skin here. So I kind of just hold it up and let the weight of the bird do the work. Get that fat out of there. Now I like to use an old knife, keep it sharp, because all the scraping that you're doing, if I used a really good knife, like a vegetable knife, we're kind of ruining our knife. I'm going to do any fine cuts. With a chicken like this, you're not really doing any fine cuts. You're kind of abusing the knife, and you don't want to use a good one. This is probably a $12 knife that I'm getting through with this. I don't buy expensive knives because I'm very rough on a knife. I think the most expensive knife I own is probably about $90. That's about it. But I keep them sharp. As long as you keep them sharp, you got no problem. Now I left the backbone in this side because this is the bigger part of the chicken, and I'll just go right through. Just like that. That looks pretty clean. We don't have any cleaning to do there. Into the basket she goes. And just scrape around the thigh and the leg, which would be a leg quarter. And just clean it up. Just like that. And that's it. So I'm going to get to cutting up the rest of these chickens. And when we come back, we're going to show you how to season these up with our rosemary and garlic. And get them ready for the smoker. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. Our chicken is nice and cut up. As you can see, it's all quartered. We're going to do a quick marinade for this. Now, like I said, we're doing the garlic and the rosemary. It's very simple. We're going to use some salt, canola oil, and garlic, and rosemary. Very, very basic, simple ingredients. Let's get this going. Now, I'm only going to do a batch, so I might need more than this. But just for now, to show you the marinade, we're just going to make just a little of it. Here's our rosemary. Here's our oil. I'm going to use it all, just so you can tell how much we're using. And this is the fresh rosemary, so I'm just going to drag it right off of here, and in she goes. Very pungent. You can smell it. And it's very, very good on the chicken. This has got to be my favorite combination on anything, is rosemary and garlic, especially on a steak or a roast. All right, so we're going to drag these pieces in. I used a lot of garlic, so I'm trying to kind of get the ratios right. We're not going to add any salt to this because after we get the chicken seasoned with this, we're just going to salt the chicken so I can judge it out and see how much salt I need on the chicken. I'm just going to pull a little rosemary off of here and not do the tops because we can do those later when we're running out of rosemary. So I'm just going to take it like that, just drag it down. Get it nice and full. Looks like an even ratio. Garlic strong, rosemary strong. So who's going to win? I think they're both about even. And as far as the taste goes and how pungent they are, Again, this is why you want to use fresh, never dry, unless the dry is usually going on something cooked or something grilled. But that fresh is the way to go. I mean, it's a night and day difference. All right, here we go. And that's where we kind of want it. We want it easy enough to get down into the chicken. Just like that. I hit that again. I'm actually going to put some more rosemary in here because I feel looks like I got too much garlic in there. So we're going with a little bit more rosemary. And if you get any of the tips of this in here, don't worry, because if you're going in a food processor with it, if you don't have a food processor, just do it by hand. I mean, we're cooking 6 chickens. A lot of you won't be cooking 6 chickens. You'll be doing a chicken, so you won't need anywhere the amount of spice that we're using today. Amount of fresh herbs. And I use this on a lot of things, so I probably won't wind up using all of this on this chicken. But here we go. If I'm going to taste anything more, I want more rosemary than garlic. There we go. Let's get this off the spindle. I'm going to get this in a bowl just because it's easier to work with. Just like that. Now I'm going to use gloves to work with this just because we're messing with chicken. And I want to keep everything nice and clean here. We have a lot of equipment out, a lot of things to touch. So I'm going to work with gloves. All right, so we got our marinade. I'm going to move our cutting board off to the side. Got my gloves here. I'm going to keep the salt here because that's what we're using right afterwards. And bring this board right in. We're going to start getting some chicken onto the pan. Now we put oil in here, so we don't really have to worry about oiling the chicken. But I am going to get a lot of this done. So I'm using one hand for the chicken. And I'll probably switch gloves. And just get a lot of it on the tray. And some to work with. You can always stack. So we're going to go about there. Leave some in the basket. And here we go. On with the garlic we go. And the rosemary. So I'm going to go like this. And just kind of eyeball it. This way every piece of chicken's kind of got the same equal amount. And I can kind of judge it out from there. Just put a little equal bowl amount on each of it. So now we got an equal amount. We'll kind of know how much to make afterwards. And now we're going to rub it in. Get it under the skin and on the outside. This is very pungent. So a little of this will go a very long way. Lift the skin up on the breast and just go right underneath with it. And same thing with the thighs and the legs, the leg quarters. Just get it right under there. And get it right under the leg meat and the back. So as you can see how far this goes. Just like that. And the stuff that you don't use on the tray, use it for the next batch. And you see how oily it's getting from this because it's got all the oil in it that we use. The canola oil. Basic canola oil. This is all going to cook off, sweat off, so there's no need of using any fancy oil on here like olive oil. This is basically peasant food, so we want to kind of keep it that way. When you take something simple like chicken and really give it fine ingredients, it doesn't work out too good. But when you kind of go back to old school days with it and treat it as such, that's what people that weren't as fortunate ate, is fortunate, then it works out well. I think the chicken knows. Alright, so here we go. I got that batch done. I'm going to take off one glove because I need a turning hand. And put one glove off to the side. And on with our salt we go. And you want to use a pretty liberal amount because it's chicken and this going on a cooker. If I was seasoning this inside, I wouldn't use anywhere nearly the amount of salt. But it seems to me that when chicken gets grilled, it takes a lot of salt. So we're going to use this to flip over. Keeping the other hand clean. And this is pretty much it. I'm doing this in batches. And we got a whole tray to go. And there you have it. All right, I'm gonna get to seasoning up the rest of this. I'm gonna stack it, and we'll meet you right back here. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, this is what we're rolling with today. We're gonna show you something a little different today. This is a custom cooker. She cooks direct and indirect. It's a vertical cooker. Let's show you around. This is another custom cooker. This was built years ago. Propane tank. She's solid. She's got 4 racks and it cooks direct and indirect. Now I have a rack down here at the bottom. It's a grate out of a fireplace. I take it in and out different grills. You've probably seen it in a few other cooks I've done. And these racks just pull out. This is a rack on top of a rack right here. I just kept this here. And I'm not sure when I cook this chicken off, I'm not sure if I'm going to use that 4th rack. And I can go indirect with it and I have a shield that goes over top. It's basically a solid plate of metal. I've got 1 gauge in the front, wooden handle on the side, and look at those. Look at these hinges. This is how you tell a good smoker, good cooker, good grill, anything is by the hinge. I got a gauge on the side in case that one fails. Vent on the bottom. lets our air in. And close that up. And opens. And here in the back, that's my guru hookup. So I can hook that right up to my guru. And that's it. She's a very simple design. And up here, we have an adjustment. This is for our top vent. So in the rain, this little cover covers the pipe. And this is how we adjust our top vent. That will be closed, and this will be all the way open. That's it. We're going to fire her up, and we'll see you when we fire her up. So this is my fire setup. Now I've got my grate in the back here. There's a pipe right on the side of here. This goes through and allows air from my guru to blow air into here, but I'm not using that today, so the guru's shut off. I can block that hole. So I've got some pieces of charcoal here, competition, and I got some pieces of just pecan. And what I'm going to do is when I light the fire starter on this side, I'm going to light that one on this side, and this will all just light up together. And when this is all lit, kind of burned out, I'll throw these pieces on, and then I'll get my food on. And we'll go for a nice even cook. But I'm going to let all of my fat from my chicken just drip down into those coals and just create all that flavor. So we're cooking directly over the coals, and that's it. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this other rack. It'll just go in like that, and it might be too close to the fire. I'm not sure. I'm playing it by ear, but I don't think I'm going to use it. So we're just going to take the fourth rack and just put it off to the side. That's it. Let's get her lit. We'll see you back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, our fire's lit. And we're going to let that burn down a bit. I put the chunks to the front. They're separate from the fire. And they're also separate. They're not touching. They're separate from the coals themselves. So when that fire gets lit up, we're going to throw that wood onto the fire when the food goes on. That's why we got some smoke, we got some flavor, and that wood's going to add the flavor. And by the way, that's pecan wood. Best type of wood that you could use on chicken. That's my opinion. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. So we got our chicken loaded on one of the trays. I took all three of them off, and I'm just going to start loading all three. But I'm going to just show you the first one, and then we're going to come back and show you what we got going on. So here's our cooker. We're going to get our first tray in, and then we're going to come back and load in the rest. Stick around. We'll be right back. So we got all of our chickens on. Just going to show you a quick preview, real quick. Here's all of our trays. And that's it. We're going to let her go. We threw our wood inside, and we're just going to let her cook. We're running about 280 to 300 here. That's the temperature we want to be, and we want that nice crispy skin. Let me close up, stabilize her, and we'll meet you back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Now that our chicken's on, we're just going to show you a quick pasta salad. Right here we have some fresh radishes, fresh garlic, fresh rosemary. Right in the middle we have our noodles. These are bow tied. This is what we're using today. They're cold. I boiled them down already. I put them in the fridge. I put a little olive oil in there to keep them from sticking. We've got salt, dry oregano, distilled vinegar, white, cherry tomatoes, olives, scallions. And right here we have bell peppers. We've got some green, some red, and some yellow, just for that beautiful pungent color. Let's get this going. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start to add our radish in here. and our garlic. I'm going to give that a little stir. Get it all mixed in. Followed by our rosemary. We'd give that a little stir and get that mixed in. Using a very big bowl today because we want all this to mix even. If you use a small bowl, you're not going to get that even mixture. So we're going to go in with just a little salt, not much. Get it mixed. A little bit more. A couple of pinches and that's it. Salt's in our olives, so we really don't want to go there. Alright, so our scallions next. Last thing we're going to do is add our tomatoes because we're going to be gentle with that. Let's give the scallion a mix. Here's our bills, our bell peppers. Now, this is where I start using my hands because it's getting a little hard to throw this up in the air. But we'll give this a shot. It's still light enough, so I'm okay. But you see how it's not mixing? So let's do this. Let's go right in and give it just a mix. You want a gentle mix. Lift it up, kind of throw it down. This way everything is mixed in. Here we go. She's starting to look good already. Alright, we're going to throw our olives in. Pimento olives. There's pimento in the middle of those, as you can see. It's a basic salad. Alright. Now, this is just white distilled vinegar. This is our dry oregano. Let's dump it in. We're going to give it a whisk. And just let her go. And we're going to mix that in. Not going to mix it in all at once, but we're just going to mix it in. You just want a hint of the vinegar. You don't want to overpower it with too much vinegar. And the next day, nice thing about the vinegar, it's going to just keep this salad loose. You don't want it to clump up on you the next day. So you have to have the right amount of olive oil, which I put in first. I got this salad loose. It sat in the fridge for about an hour. There we go. And now we're going in with our tomato. We're not going to put all these in at one time. And now we're going to be really gentle with our tomatoes because we don't want all of this stuff, the tomato juice, to come out of here. So we're going to be really gentle with our salad. A little bit more tomato. And again, very gentle. Just like that. Now, we're going to take it out of this vessel and we're going to put it into a smaller vessel. And when I do that, I'm going to use my hands like this to do it so everything's mixed. If I dump it in, then you'll have stuff from the bottom go to the top and it's not going to work. So if you want this to look pretty on presentation, use your hands to do this to go into the other bowl. And that's what I'm going to do. All right, that's it. We're gonna get out into the smoker and we're gonna meet you back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're about 75% through this cook. Let's see where we are. Look at those. Those are looking right. Let's get a little light in there. Now, I switched the shelves around. I plate musical shelves. So basically I took the top shelf, put it on the bottom shelf, and the only one that I got left is the middle shelf, and then we're going to take the bottom shelf, put it to the middle to the bottom, and that's it. And I'm going to throw a couple of pieces of pecan right down the bottom just to add to that cook. That's it. I'm going to close her back up. We get some nice golden chicken, and we'll see you when she's almost done. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're approaching the last about 10-15 minutes. Let's show you what we got. Look at that. Nice golden chicken. Looks like I got about 10 more minutes left on here. I put some nice corn down the bottom. Just gonna turn it over. Doesn't even really need to be turned. I'm just gonna let it roll. Maybe I will turn it. Yes, sirree. All right. Let's get the one back there in the back. Let's get him turned. They're looking right. That's it. Put a little wood in the middle here. Knock down our fire. And we're going to close up. Close our dampers. Let this guy go for about another 10 minutes. And we're going to pull her. Nice golden chicken. And then we'll see you inside on the chopping block. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Alright, our chicken is done and we are on the chopping block. Let's see what we got. Look at that. Nice golden chicken. And without any further ado, let's get into a couple of pieces of this. We're going to take a quarter, a leg quarter, and we're going in with a breast. And we're going to cut into this, show you what we got. Alright, so the thing we'll do is just go into our leg quarter. Look at that. She's cooked right down to the bone. Go apart with it. Nice, juicy, cooked to perfection. Same thing with her thigh. It's really hot. Let's dig into a piece of her thigh. If I can get in here. But she is, whew, really, really hot. But cooked right down. And juicy. Let's go to her breast. Now, first thing I'm going to do is just cut her wing off. And look at that. Just look at that juice. Pull it apart. That's just a little red by the bone. But that's it. Let's go for a Pitmaster taste. Excellent. That's so good, I gotta go for 2 bites. That's great. All right, let's get this plated up. Before we do that, let's just show you this breast meat. I'm gonna cut it. Look at that juice coming out of there. Put it right in here. That is not dry. And that's just beautiful meat. Right in here. Ah, gotta get a Pitmaster taste again in here. This looks so good. Ooh, that's hot. Look at that. Nice and juicy, moist. All right. Time to plate up. Let's show you what this looks like on a plate. And get our plate in here. And I think we're gonna work with the leg quarter and this piece of breast that we cut up, followed by a leg. And let's go in with our pasta salad. This was that pasta salad that we made. And you could just see the colors in there are spot on. Let's go in with a little pasta salad, or a lot. This is why you want that equal mix in there. So this way, when you're serving it like this, everything's just right there. It's equally mixed, and it's just very colorful, and you got that even mixture where you're not digging around looking for peppers. And by the way, which I didn't say earlier, I have some orange peppers in here too. Bell peppers. So it's some red, yellow, green, and orange. All right, here we go. Right across. A little smaller as we get in there. All right, now that we got that, we've got some fresh corn on the cob that we did. I'm just gonna pull this off, peel it back, and we're gonna serve it Indian style. Native American style. Here we go. There it is. That's our plate. Just gotta tuck this in over here. Just give it a little style. Bring these back. All right. I'm going to show you a different angle. A couple of different angles so you get a good look at that. And I would say this angle will be the best. Right there. Okay. We're going to get situated, and we're going to meet you right back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, and there it is. Smoked rosemary and garlic chicken with a beautiful plate of pasta, corn, and chicken, followed by our pasta salad and some roasted corn on the cob and a little bread. And that completes your meal. And if you like this video, and more that are about to come, please hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget that hit that little bell in the middle of the page. This way you get all the notifications first. This way you get them first. Again, thank you for joining us, and we enjoyed having you. Got to get that little Pitmaster's taste once more.